Hey guys, Ben Taylor here with Raw Motivations, coming back for the 7th episode of The Lies I Believe. If you haven't had a chance to watch the original episode, The Lies That Narcissist Believes, The Lies That Narcissist Tells, and The Lies I Believe, that episode is going to be down there in the playlist, and then you'll have the 7 other episodes about the different lies that I had. And what it was is I had a period of time where I was able to do a 30-day challenge with a group called Wake Up Warrior, where I was able to go and invest a lot of time and energy into myself to try to figure out what are the things that I am doing. One of those was just plain lying. And Garrett J. White starts off the course telling the guys, men, if you want to be a man, you have to stop fucking lying. And going into that course, I was like, I don't have lies. I don't have that many lies. Or maybe the lies I have, they're small, or I know what they are. I don't need this. I don't really need it. And as I started getting into it, I started realizing, no, the lies I have are really deep. And they're ingrained. So much so that they were lies that I didn't even know I had. I didn't know that they were lies that I was believing on a day-to-day basis. And so as I went through the Wake Up Warrior Challenge, and one of the last things is going on this walk, going on this hike where I have to take rocks. And I have to take these rocks and put them inside my backpack, and as I go, I start to think and I start to count the cost. What is the cost that my lies have caused me? What is the cost it is to my family, to my body, to my being, to my balance, to my business? What is the cost of all these lies? And as I thought about the 4 biggest costs that I talked about in the first video is connection to my wife and daughter, relationship with God, destroyed families and friendships, and fired from my job. Those are some of the 4 biggest costs in my life. But ultimately, the cost of everything, of hurting other people, of destroying lives, of hurting my wife, all these different things, that cost was priceless. And I don't think I can really put a number on that, or a dollar amount, or whatever it might be. So if you've seen some of the other videos, we kind of review and we kind of go through one lie at a time. Honestly, didn't think it would take an episode for each one, but that's how he landed. So the first lie that I had was, I can do this on my own. Lie number 2 was, I am a good person. Lie number 3, I deserve happiness. Lie number 4, God is not good enough for me. Lie number 5, I'm committed to Kayla. Lie number 6, I was in love with other women. Which leads us to number 7. So number 7 was the last of the lies, the last of the ones that I thought of as I'm walking and hiking around this lake, putting another rock into my backpack. And as I go down and I pick the 7th rock up, the lie that was emanating and going through in my mind, the lie that has cost me so much, was just this. Lie number 7, I can never win at love. There's the idea that I'm not enough. There's the idea that no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, no matter what I put into my life, I'm never going to win love. It's just never going to happen. And this started the idea of even self-doubt, of skewed focus, of what am I actually thinking about? What am I actually doing? How am I actually approaching love? Why don't I have that? Why can't I get love? Why can't I connect in that way? It'd be like you watch a movie and you see the actors on the screen, you're like, wow, what is that? I don't get it. Or you look at people walking down the sidewalk and they're holding hands and smiling at each other, and I'm like, what is that? Because it doesn't feel like I have that. And what it did is it started to paint a victim mentality mindset in my mind of who I am, of why I'm not getting what I want, what I need, because I can't win. Something's wrong with me. I'm not enough. It's not good enough. Why isn't this how I want it? And so as I had to look at it, I had to break it down into 4 different areas. Body, it's my body, my physicality. Being, my relationship with God and myself. Balance, the relationship with my wife and daughter, friends and family. And then business, how I implement and work that in the job that I'm at. So as I'm going through these lies and I'm going through this challenge, this is about 2 years ago at the time of this recording. As I'm going through this, I'm thinking through, I can never win love, and thinking through, what's the point? And so I had to break it down into those 4 areas, body, being, balance, and business. So with body, it came to the fact where I was thinking, why try? Just go for anything you can get, find someone, do whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, if there's no win, if there's no being enough, if there's no, like, this actually matters to another person, to another being, this actually matters, then who cares? Like, why does it even matter? Just get what you can get. Get the pleasure, get the happiness, get the feeling. Just get what you can get by being with that person. Emotionally, sexually, physically. Just get what you can get. Because why try any other way? If you can't win, what's the point? Then being, God doesn't love me, why should I try? Going back to the idea that God's not good enough for me, and now I can't win at love, like it's an impossible game. There's nothing that I can do to be able to get love, to be able to get affection from anybody or from God. So then what's the point? Why even try? And that victim mentality comes out of me wanting something, wanting this love, wanting this affection without having to put in the work, without having to put in any effort, without having to acknowledge where I am, who I am, the lives I've hurt, the sin that I've caused, like all this different stuff. Like with that, the idea with being is God doesn't love me. So why should I even try? If you take out that aspect of God, if you take that aspect of morality, if you take out that aspect of there actually being a purpose and a meaning to life, to love, to happiness, all those type of things, then anything can come on the table. Because again, why does it matter? So when I'm thinking about that idea, I can never win love, I started to believe in balance that I'm not good enough for my wife. And I started to point out that, hey, there's no point in this. Like, there's no point because, like, she doesn't love me. She doesn't care about me. This is how she reacts. This is how she responds. And all those reactions and all those responses were a direct reflection of what I was doing to her. How I was raging, how I was acting, how I was gaslighting, how I was manipulating her. To the point where she would come back at me and I'd be like, see, I'm the victim here. And I would think that every single time. And I would think, if I can't get love from her, then why does it even matter? Why does it matter who I'm doing it with, where I'm going, who I'm seeing, what's happening? Why does it even matter? The last part with business, I can never win love. What that means in reality at that point in my life was be the best so that people like me. Because if I can't win, then I can conquer. If I can't win, then I can be amazing in one aspect. I can have people love and adore me in one aspect because I'm the best in that aspect. And you see, all these lies didn't come into my life thinking like, oh, that's a lie, let me put that in my life. They came in as different thoughts and feelings and attitudes and emotions that came through a whole different litany of things that happened in my life to bring me to the point of saying, hey, these are things that I believe. These are things that I think. These are things that make up my victim mindset and my mentality that says, I'm not the problem, but everyone else is. And coming to terms and embracing the fact that these are lies is probably one of the hardest realities over a period of time. There's the in the moment, realizing and understanding, and then there's the everyday application of how do I live that out so that these lies, these thoughts, these words, these stories in my life don't have free reign. They don't control me anymore. So over a period of time, I started working through different statements, different ideas of what are the impacts that these have had on my body, on my being, on my balance, on my business, and then what do I not want anymore? Because those lies had put a lot of different thoughts in my life of what I wanted, what I was going to get, how I was going to get it. So I had to get to the place of saying, like, this is what I don't want. And I started writing down statements of, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this anymore. And I had to get to the place of saying, okay, these are the 7 lies. These are 7 things that I don't want anymore. Now here's what I will no longer fucking tolerate in my life anymore. And I had to start writing out other statements. And I started to write down other things of this is how I want my life to be. This is how I need to change and add and subtract things in my life that make me go down this path of believing these lies on a day-to-day basis. What I challenge you after watching, if you stuck with me for these 7 videos, is what lies do you believe? You see, I work with people every day in one-on-ones. and in coaching scenarios where I'm helping people get out of the trauma bond, break the addiction with a narcissist, with a toxic person, and find clarity, healing, growth, and change. And oftentimes what we have to do is we have to go down deep. Like I tell people, like, hey, I need you to be vulnerable with me so that we can get to the place that you can understand the story that you're telling yourself. It's a lot easier to wrap your mind around a story that you're telling yourself than it is to say, hey, what are the lies I believe? Because the lies just aren't there. It's not on the forefront of your mind or the top of your head or on the surface saying like, hey, I believe these 5 lies. Do you want to hear them? But instead, we talk through what you're feeling, what emotions you're experiencing underneath the surface, and the story that ends up coming out from that. And then as we take that story, we put it up on trial. We say, hey, what are the facts that support or deny this story? And then what does the new story need to be? And then how do we implement that on a day-to-day basis to rewire your mind, to change your mindset, to help you grow, change, and develop into being the best version of yourself you could possibly be? If that's something you're interested in talking sometime, click on the link below to grab a one-on-one. Would love to talk to you and interact any way I can. If you want to be involved in a community of people that are doing that on a day-to-day basis, that are working on growing themselves, getting free, learning about narcissism, and continuing to change, then we've got the NARC app. NARC, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Community, NARC. You can find it on Apple or on Google Play. Download it and start learning about narcissism. We've got more things coming out each month on that. If you haven't by now, subscribed onto here, go ahead and do that. Or follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We've got nuggets of truth that are dropping every single day to be able to help you get free and help you understand the situation that you're in. Stay safe.